They don't need to make Toy Story movies anymore. The way they handled Woody and Buzz, okay, they get sidelined so fucking crazy in this movie to the point where Jesse's just the main character. The technology is basically turning the humans into zombies, and it's kind of scary. There's a lot of adult jokes in this, more so than usual. I saw this movie way too early in the day because holy shit, there was kids running around my theater. This kid literally walked up behind me and started kicking my seat intentionally. Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be doing a review on Toy Story 5. It was pretty good, I'm not going to lie. I thought it'd be better because the bar for Toy Story is so high. But in terms of Pixar in general, that bar is kind of lowered itself just because when it comes to Pixar, they've kind of done everything they could do in terms of the best storytelling. You know, we got The Incredibles, superheroes, okay, we got Cars, we got a rat in a French kitchen, that movie's great. We got futuristic robots, we got Toy Story, of course, which is the one we're going to be covering today. Right off the bat, it's pretty good. I have issues with it. Let's just rank the movie first of all. Okay, so it goes like this. Toy Story 3, that's number 1. Undoubtedly. You can make the argument for Toy Story 1, but Toy Story 3, that's the best one. Then Toy Story 1, then Toy Story 2, then this movie, Toy Story 5, and then Toy Story 4. Toy Story 4 is ranked the lowest, I think, because it's one of those movies where I don't think it needs to exist. The trilogy for Toy Story was so good, it ended off completely, so complete, such a perfect trilogy, especially for Pixar, right? But honestly, they don't need to make Toy Story movies anymore, but you know, Pixar, Disney, they're gonna keep rolling out these franchise movies, the IP address, as long as it does well at the box office. And that's fine because Toy Story is one of the better Pixar movies, so as long as that quality still stays there, I'm not gonna have an issue with it. But if I see fucking Toy Story 6, I might rage, but honestly, in this day and age, it would not be surprising at all. I find it funny how we got all the way up to Toy Story 5 before getting, well, I mean, we have Monsters University, which is kind of a prequel, when Monsters Inc. 2 should probably definitely be something they're doing. Let's see, Cars 3, yep, Incredibles 2, they waited so fucking long to do that, obviously, because they wanted that money back, and they got it. I think Ratatouille 2, you know, leave my Pixar classics alone, okay? Let them rest. Not everything needs a sequel, but hey, we're already on the 5th Toy Story, so let's talk about it, chat. The first thing I want to talk about is the plot. The plot of this movie is one of the things I liked a lot, actually, because as soon as the trailer came out, I was like, I guess before the trailer, there was a lot of fan speculation, predictions as to what the plot for Toy Story 5 was going to be, and I dead ass saw the exact prediction. The plot was going to be centered around electronics. But I will say this, I didn't know how that was going to work, and I saw some things where it was like maybe the toys are going to be fighting against technology, which it was like that, but it was kind of like the main protagonist obviously was the lily pad. And in terms of like combat, I guess it was more of a intellectual way of how the toys are fighting against technology, and they're like using the children as like, this is the main plot device that this movie is going to center around, how technology is affecting the children. And that is honestly way better than some Toy Story battle between robot toys or whatever the fuck, because Lily Pad, the kind of antagonist, she's the kind of villain where it's kind of hard to go up against her, okay? She's got the parents on lock, she's got the child on lock, better than that fucking China doll in the last one, let me tell you. I don't even remember what her motivation was in the last movie, I cannot lie. So yeah, the plot was pretty good. Obviously there were some issues where I was like, the way they handled Woody and Buzz, okay, they get sidelined so fucking crazy in this movie to the point where Jesse's just the main character, and that's fine, you know, I've always liked Jesse, but I feel like Woody and Buzz obviously are better when they're the protagonists. And the way Jessie was able to just go back to her childhood home, call back to Toy Story 2, so the way how they go back to Emily's house, of course, I thought that was really cool the way they did it. It wasn't so forced like, okay, we need to have a call back to Toy Story 2. It was like, no, the older couple, they find that Emily is on the boot of Jessie, they're able to find the address, and then they go back to Emily's house. And then that's what basically kicks off this whole entire plot. Now there's an A story and a B story to this movie, right? The B story obviously being the whole army of Buzz Lightyears, which, you know, works, I guess. We kind of got a whole army in the second Toy Story. This one, honestly, chat, if there's any Toy Story movie to watch before this one, it would be Toy Story 2. Okay, huge ass callbacks. My favorite part at the end is probably when we find out that all the Buzz Lightyear toys have built-in drone propellers, and then they fly up in the sky. That was really a moment when they're like, oh yeah, new technology combining with old classic toys. It's really cool. But I kind of want to get more into characters because the character work in this movie is definitely something worth talking about. So Jessie has to take up the upper mantle in this movie. She's the lead role. She's carrying the entire plot. And then she runs into these other toys, one of them played by Conan. When I found out Conan was in this movie, I used to not be a big fan of him, and then I started watching his show, and then I was like, oh yeah, this guy's cool. I just literally thought of him as an Oscars host until I actually saw how many guests he had on the show and how funny he actually is, right? And he's really funny in this movie. They made his hair part of the toy, which I found was funny. Speaking of Conan in general, there is a lot of adult jokes in this movie. Conan is one of those toys where he brings out the adult humor, and obviously this movie caters to both kids and adults alike. With this one, a little bit more so than usual, I might say. Woody is also a big part of this movie, but I just really wanted him to be bigger, you know? It makes me think though, the way Toy Story 4 ends is almost like Woody is passing the mantle to Jessie, but at the same time, he's still needed in this movie, right? And Pixar fucking knows if Woody wasn't in this movie, that would affect the box office for sure. It 100% would. I think Hollywood now knows that to take out really important characters, the audience doesn't really resonate with that, especially when you have the strongest characters in Toy Story are clearly Buzz, Jessie, and Woody. Okay, they are the Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman of the franchise. To take away one of them is doing the movie a huge disservice, and a lot of people would just not watch it because you took out one of their favorite characters. They did find a way to squeeze Woody back into this plot and make it make sense. And, you know, when I watched Toy Story 3 recently, after watching Toy Story 5, I was just reminded how much of a badass Woody is. While we're on that point, Buzz is so, like, ugh. I hate the way they handle Buzz Lightyear in this movie. Throughout the entire movie, he's afraid to ask Jessie to marry him. On one hand, I'm like thinking, y'all been with each other for like years. Why is like, how is marriage even a thing? How is it even a factor in this story? You live together, you have the same owner, you literally get married by play. It's like Buzz and Jessie getting married as a plot point in this story is one of my biggest issues of this whole thing. I think it just creates more conflict for Buzz and gives him something to like be unsure of, when really I kind of just wanted Buzz to be his normal badass self. When you compare Toy Story 3 Buzz, when he's literally solving problems so quickly, he's bodying all the bad guys, and it's just like, you compare it to him in this movie, it's like, bro, you nerfed my character, man. Buzz ain't even cool anymore. Going back to the characters though, obviously standout was Lily Pad. Like I said, she's a great villain. She's played by Greta Lee. Greta Lee has been so casted ever since Past Lives, which when I saw her in Past Lives, that was literally my favorite role. I was like, who is this girl? I like her. She is good. She almost made me cry. And ever since then, she's just been in movie after movie. She's got that agent, bro. Another thing that happens is characters getting sidelined, while Buzz and Woody also get completely pushed to the side, and we spend a lot of time on Jessie. This is very much Jessie's movie. The whole OG gang gets completely shoved to the side. Like, I hope you didn't go into this movie thinking, I love Slinky, I love Rex, I love Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, Bo Peep, because they're barely in this movie, guys. They're not even in this movie enough to even feel nostalgic, which is kind of sad. But I do like the dynamic between Buzz and Woody, you know, how they're like at odds again, sort of. I mean, you could have taken it a step further rather than just friendly banter, you know, maybe create some real conflict between those characters. But again, we have to focus on Jessie, and Jessie's good. She's funny. In terms of leading a story, I guess she handles it well. Joanne Cusack totally kills it. Love her voice, so to have her more in this movie was cool. Let's talk about animation. Pixar and animation, they are the leading animation studio. Okay, Disney, you know what I'm saying, in terms of 3D animation. Rivalries right now would be Sony, obviously, with what they're doing with the Spideyverse, and now releasing kind of a whole certain type of animation style with Sony animation. Like, Sony has a very clear style now with how they're animating ever since the success of Spider-Verse, right? People like that style, and when people see that animation style, they know Sony animation, and then they know, oh, this could be good. Yeah, in terms of animation, that was really good. The sound design is always really good for Pixar. They really knock it out of the park. 3D animation styles, all the toys look so realistic, the animals and the people. I love how the technology is basically turning the humans into zombies. Like, when they're like looking at the screens, they're literally like mesmerized, and it's like, it's kind of scary. It's scary because it's what's happening in real life, right? We're just on our phones for hours and hours on end, and we literally are becoming zombies. People are becoming so influenced by social media, it's honestly insane. And this film has a lot to say about basically get the fuck off your device, get back into the real world. The fact that Toy Story is on its 5th movie now, and I was a child, it came out even before I was born, right? And then watching Toy Story 3, it was so nostalgic for me because I remember watching Toy Story 3 in the theater on a school trip, and how sad I felt when I watched the toys about to die. So sad, in fact, that I'm gonna do a reaction for you guys right now because of how good that scene is.
I don't think that's daylight.
They're cooked. Fuck you, Lotso. Oh my god, look at his eyes, Jades, bro. This guy's evil. Oh my god. Oh god. Oh no, fuck. Oh god. He was gonna die, man. No. Oh god. Oh, they're all holding hands and shit. Oh god, chat. No. Oh, they gonna die. No. Not my toys. Yes. It's so peak. It's so peak. Oh god. The claw. Oh my god, chat. Toy Story literally peaked at number 3, man. After number 3, it just went, I don't want to say downhill, but why did they have to make more? But that being said, I still like this movie, you know? I still think it's relevant. I think it feels exactly up to date with where we are now as a society. It had a lot to say, and it's really shoving it in our face to just like, get off the screens, put the screen down, okay? Play with your toys. Play with your toys if you still play with toys. There's a lot of adult jokes in this, more so than usual. I read the comments online, okay? Yes, there are sex jokes in Toy Story movies and kids movies for that matter. It does cater to adults sometimes. There's a boner joke literally in Toy Story 2 with Jessie. Yeah, the wing set, you know. But in this movie in particular, and I agree with this take, there's like more obvious sex jokes. The part where basically Jessie is bouncing on top of Jessie's bouncing on top of Smarty Pants. I can't even get what how is this in a kids movie? And I've seen some comments where it's like, oh, kids won't get what this kids, okay, they gonna get this, okay, they gonna get this joke. It never got to a point where it was inappropriate, but it did get to a point where I was thinking, it feels like I'm watching Sausage Party. And if you know, you know. Here's the thing people gotta understand, it's not just adults that this movie has to cater to, it's people like me who, you're not taking your child to see it, but you're also not a child. You're at the young adult / teenage phase of your life, and you gotta cater to us too, man, because I was a kid when Toy Story came out, and I'm watching this now as a young adult, right? And it's like, I'm in that age where it's like, I don't want to deal with little kids. But while we're on the fucking subject, I saw this movie way too early in the day because holy shit, there was kids running around my theater, okay? One started kicking my literal fucking seat. I'm not even joking. It got to a point where I had to turn around and be like, yo, can you stop? This kid literally walked up behind me and started kicking my seat intentionally. Well, that's good parenting. So yeah, if you're gonna see this movie and you do not like children, see it late at night, because that's your best bet for avoiding that annoying crowd, right? That being said, I think we're gonna wrap this review up. I like this movie. My expectations were well met. Could it have been better? Yes. Toy Story 3 was here, and Toy Story 5 was there. But I think as we go forward, the new Pixar movies aren't going to be as good as the classics, right? They're not going to be as good as the classics. They never will be, okay? Monsters University was not better than Monsters Inc. Incredibles 2 was not better than Incredibles. Cars kind of lacks in quality the more you go on. I like Cars 2, but yeah, you know, it's going to go down in quality because, you know, we're getting into the area of like, what else can you do? How creative can you be? That's just where Disney is right now, and Pixar. In terms of creativity, there is a huge lack. We're just going to have to see it from other creatives, other animation studios. Shout out DreamWorks, because they are holding that shit together, bro. Okay, The Wild Robot, that movie was awesome. But let me know what you guys think in the comments, and we'll see you guys in the next movie review, the next show review, or the next game review. We'll see which is which. See y'all in the next one. Boom.